Recently on a Q&A call, the Inner Circle and I were talking about Cap Cana versus Punta Cana, specifically the Punta Cana Resort, Punta Cana Village area, and a couple of things really floored me. First, somebody had mentioned that they saw Bill Clinton here in Punta Cana and said, yeah, I saw that they were in Cap Cana. For various political reasons, I knew that was probably not the case. So I said, well, are you sure he was in Cap Cana and not Punta Cana Resort? And the person said, oh, well, it looked like Cap Cana, or it looked like what I thought Cap Cana would be. And I said, oh, that's interesting. No, that's Punta Cana Resort. Somebody else then said, Jamie, you know what's funny? I've been coming to DR. I am Dominican for decades, coming to Punta Cana, and I've always heard of Cap Cana, but until last year when you did a video on it, I had never even heard of Punta Cana Village, and I'll explain why in just a moment. Today, what I wanted to do was put together a full tour, driving all the way around Punta Cana Village and Punta Cana Resort, so you could see what that looks like at the request of the Inner Circle, and you get a sense of what's available in that community and why I love it so much. It's just a spot when we moved here that I thought, this is where we want to be. So let me give you a little bit of context on why Punta Cana Village and Resort are not known. Punta Cana Village and Resort are part of Grupo Punta Cana. Grupo Punta Cana is a developer that built these communities along with the airport. They own all of the stuff you see when you get to the airport, including the airport, and when you leave it, that's all theirs. Cap Cana is a different family, a different owner, and those two groups are, they're not aligned. They're competitors, if you will, both in the business sense and if you talk to a lot of people around here, in even deeper senses than that. What Cap Cana has done over the years is has created great marketing around the idea of luxury. And when you go into Cap Cana, my God, it's just some of the most beautiful stretch of land that you can find. It's huge. I've heard 2 times the size of Manhattan, and it's completely gated in. There's a ton of restaurants and hotels and everything else. And they've been building communities, pre-construction properties, a whole bunch of stuff, a lot of development happening in there. And from what I understand, a lot of those developers pay top dollar to the realtor. So there's a lot of promotion and push for Cap Cana around luxury, and they do it loudly. Meanwhile, just a few minutes up the road on an equally beautiful piece of stretch of land, stretch of beach, is Punta Cana Resort and Punta Cana Village. The difference in philosophy is this. Punta Cana Resort and Village, they prefer to stay quiet and build it with a lot of demand. So they build up this demand before they provide the supply so that they never really have to go out and market it. That's just real. Cap Cana builds the supply and then goes out and markets to create the demand. It's just 2 different models. I'm not saying one's right or wrong. I tend to gravitate to the idea of building a bunch of demand and then providing the supply. And I think you'll see today in this tour why that's been effective for Grupo Punta Cana in creating Punta Cana Resort and Village. So quietly, and this is my opinion, Punta Cana Resort has become the #1 luxury destination in the entire country. Second, I would say, is Casa de Campo. Third is Cap Cana. That would be the order I would give you for luxury right now. We're not even getting into what's coming on the North Shore in Cabrera and Rio San Juan and everything else, but for the foreseeable future, Punta Cana Resort, Casa de Campo, then Cap Cana sits below the 2 of them, and it's trending. Cap Cana will be fine in the future, but right now, a lot of things happening in there. All right, let's get into this tour. You're gonna hear me talking. I'm gonna flash over to some video that I took. So here we go. I started right here, leaving the airport, like you might. And when you come out of the airport, if you can see it over there on the left, you see Wendy's. Everybody recognizes Wendy's when they get here. Like, oh, I saw Wendy's as soon as I exited the airport. That, my friends, is Punta Cana Village. It's the point, the top point, meaning the furthest point to the side of the airport of Punta Cana Village. So as we continue around this traffic circle here and into the village, this road, which I think is called Noviembre. This road is sort of the artery through the middle of the village. Over here on the right, you have 4 Points Hotel. Over here on the left, you've got Scotiabank. And as we roll up through, you see all these different buildings, corporate offices, banks, and so on. And I'm going to throw it to me in the car so he can tell you a little bit more right now. All right, I'm pulled over just a little bit up the roadway. Sorry about the reflection. I'll keep my arm out of the way as much as I can. So I could show you just a couple of things here in the middle of the village. So directly in front of me, here, let me turn this around. Directly in front of me, right there, is the throughway through the village, the road we've been on. I'm like maybe a quarter kilometer up from the airport at this point. These buildings over here on the right, they have things like furniture stores. There's a barbershop, village barbershops in there. There's like, I think a jujitsu or one of the martial arts disciplines in there. My lawyer, he's in that building. Gabriel, if you guys have interacted with him, anybody that's used Gabriel, he's in one of these buildings over here. There's a 24-hour pharmacy over here called Pharmacana. You can go there 24 hours a day, and there's a drive up on it as well. All in that building right there. Over on this side, you've got office buildings. Over here is the building that houses the VCCA, the Veterans care community, whatever the heck it's called. That's one of the veterans clinics here. And then over here, back here, where it says Banco Lopez de Aro, that's the bank right there. But next to it, that whole thing, all floors of this whole thing, up here, the whole thing is Punta Cana Doctors. That's going to be, if you're living in the village and resort, or even if you're just around, this is all open to the public. That's going to be your like best private medical, almost like primary care clinic. It's got a lot of disciplines in there: cardio, endocrinology, gastroenterology. It's got a full-scale lab in there. It's got a sports therapy facility inside, and so on and so forth. So those are the things inside there. And I'm going to continue forward with the tour. And I'm going to have Dan, my editor, stay on me for a minute here as I keep forward, and then I'll go back over to voice over me. But let's keep going forward here real quick. So as we come up here, again, I'm trying to be mindful of the fact that I'm rolling here. We come up here, you can see the pharmacy is right there. I got to go around this car. Pharmacy's right there. Inside, that's the village barbershop right there. It's upstairs. In fact, I might go get a shave today. I don't feel like doing it myself. And then as we roll forward even further, this is the building where my attorney is. There used to be a little, it's that where that AirPods is up, Punto Mac, I think it's called. They moved to the mall though. And here's a Referencia, 24-hour lab if you need blood work on a Sunday or whatever it might be. Over here on the left is Universal. And now where we are right here, this is the intersection of Amapola. I don't know why I turned. In fact, I'm going to turn around. That is the intersection of Amapola, and this is the entrance to the West Village. Let me turn around. I'm going to come back so you guys can see where we are, and then I'm going to continue straight down the road here. So as we come up here back to Amapola, that's the East Village entrance right there. Behind me is the West Village entrance. We're going to go this way and continue the tour through the middle of the village. Which again, this is all open. None of this is secured. There's the offices for Grupo Punta Cana. This is the, I think, future office. I think that's what they're building here. Then over here on the left, you've got different buildings. Our bank, JMMB, is in one of these. Ikigai School is in that one. The Larimar project, their offices are in this building right here. The Noriega building has some stuff. That might be where our bank, JMMB, is. And there's another corporate building over here. But you can see all of that is present here. And then we're going to get to the very end of the village here. If you were to stay straight all the way through, it would take you to Cap Cana, about 10 minutes up the road. But I'm going to go through this traffic circle and show you that the upcoming new West Village entrance is here. It's not quite done, as you can see. And this is the back entrance for the East Village here. And we're going to keep on rolling through. This is the back entrance to the West Village, or the East Village, excuse me. We just turned around. We're coming back up. You can see there's an insurance office there. Banco La Fis, I've never heard of that. Another insurance office. A whole bunch of stuff right in there. And then here is where you would find Ikigai School at the moment and some other stuff. So let's keep rolling up as we get up to the East Village entrance.
This might be easier. Let's throw this up on a map so you can see where we are here. I'm going to show you an aerial view. So right here, you see is Punta Cana Airport. And as you come out of this traffic circle and around, you're going to see this road, Noviembre, is the road that goes straight through the middle of the village. Now, over here on the left is the East Village. Over here on the right is the West Village. And if you look back over here, behind all of it, that is Punta Cana Resorts. So now as we go down this road toward the back of it and come around this traffic circle and back up, you can see where all these buildings that house Ikigai Schools, Larimar, the big city that they're building out closer to Otra Banda. Banks like JMMB, that's where we got our mortgage, all inside of these buildings right here. As you continue further up and take a right-hand turn, this is the Amapola entrance for the East Village. So let's go inside there. All right, as we come in and enter, we come to one of the first of two, I would say, major intersections inside the East Village. It's right here. I'm going to throw it up on the map so you can see it. It's the Cayena and Amapola intersection. It's where I'm sitting right now as you look at this. So I'm going to turn left, as you see right here. And that's going to take me down as we continue down this road. The very end is Las Gallerias. Now I'm going to put up some footage of the Galleria so you can see what it is. It's where Wendy's is. It's right at the very edge of it. But there's also a whole bunch of different restaurants. There's bars. There's a brewery in there. There's cake shops. There's a BM cargo store. There's a whole bunch of stuff in this area. It's a walking shopping center, and it's going to be extended even further here in the near future. You'll see a little bit more about that as we go through. So that's Las Gallerias. So as we turn around and come back down Cayena and we intersect again with Amapola, now I'm going to go left
on Amapola. So going back up above, if I entered the security shack right here and came to the intersection of Amapola and Cayena, a moment ago we turned left to go to the Galleria. Now we're gonna go straight. And when you go straight all the way to the end and you look over here on the left, you'll see PC Club. So PC Club is like a centralized spot club for kids, families to do a lot of different things. You can see on the right here is these shipping containers. That's a gym. It's kind of an expensive one. I think it's like $400 a month in there. It's crazy. And then behind the gym on the other side is the community pool. They do swimming lessons for adults, for kids. There's even swimming competitions that happen there. Our kids have participated in those. And then you can see the soccer field over here, which is kind of the main soccer field for all the games that happen in the village from teams from La Romana or wherever they might come from. And all of this also is where one of the big summer camps is called Carita Feliz. That's where they host it, right here in this little area. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but back behind the soccer field over here is a tennis court. There's a tennis academy there. A couple run it. One of my sons goes to that tennis academy. It's awesome. They do a great job. And then back here, this little red shipping container, this is a little shop where kids can get way too much sugar in their system than they need. My kids are always saying,
No, I'm going down to soccer, 50 pesos? What do you say?
50 pesos gets you a lot of candy in that store, so avoid it. But anyway, I digress. As we continue out of PC Club and go back out onto Amapola, going back toward the guard shack now. Over here on the right, you can see, I'm trying to get it for you, this other soccer field. This is the PCIS soccer field, essentially, although the whole neighborhood goes and plays on it. And further up on the right on this corner is a playground. So I'm going to show you some footage of what happens on that playground. Halloween celebrations, Easter, all of that happens right here on this playground. By the way, as I'm filming this, it's like 12:30 in the middle of the day. I'll try to get some footage by the end of this video where I show you some shots of like after kids are home from school and people are home from work, so you can see some of the bustle. Real quick, going back to the Gallerias here, this is what Aguinaldo looked like in the Gallerias. It's just active and happening. Here's a couple of other things that go on in town. So it's a bustling place. There's a lot of people around. I don't know if you can hear now, but there's lawnmowers going off. There's people working. It's a really vibrant community. I'm going to quickly interrupt this tour, which I did of Punta Cana Village and Punta Cana Resort, because I have a lot of people that have been asking me about these communities that are learning about them and saying, man, I really love somebody that can help me with it. So what I did was leverage 2 key relationships with top salespeople that know the village and the resort cold. If you scan this QR code right here or go down to the link in the description, you can fill out the referral form for the village and resort, and I will gladly connect you to a top realtor. Of course, if you decide to use them, I will work out some sort of arrangement, likely for a referral fee. So do your own due diligence. But if I can help with the village and resort, I would love to. Here it is again one more time, and then we'll go back to the tour. Anyway, I'm going to turn the corner here and you're going to see the playground on the right. And then right after that, you're going to see the community's baseball field. And really, it's the PCIS, Punta Cana International School baseball field as well. They have men's leagues that play there till like 10 o'clock at night on Wednesdays or whatever, softball leagues, all that good stuff. So fun time right there. Kids academies. In fact, I think Robinson Cano's father was one of the, I don't know if he still is leading an academy here in this baseball park as you see it. Now, the road we're on now is called Jasmines, which is another main road. And that intersection we were just at was Cayena and Jasmines. Let's maybe show you that over on an overhead map right here. Cayena and Jasmines. And we're headed out in the direction of the airport right now on Jasmines, toward the exit to this side. So here we go. We're going to go through this guard shack and then take a right. And you'll see over here on the right is going to be Punta Cana International School. Those white peaked buildings you see. And then beyond it, you see that giant dome. That is the basketball court for the Hawks. That's the PCIS mascot or whatever. In fact, I tried to show you, there's some kids playing in there right now so you can get a sense of like the vibrance there. If you look across the street on the left is a Catholic church. Sunday mornings, this place is flooded. Tons of people going to church there. And just up a little bit from that, on the left-hand side, this big brown building is the Frank Ranieri Cultural Center, which will be opening soon. Incidentally, PCIS, because it's right next to the Cultural Center, and this is all owned by Gruber Punta Cana, which is headed up by Frank Ranieri. The Cultural Center will act as the auditorium, I'm told, for the PCIS school. So there's a lot of integration. The Cultural Center will sort of feed the PCIS and vice versa. But anyway, we're going to come up and around, and then I think I'm going to go back to me in the car because I'm sick of me talking to me right now. And you probably are too. Okay, so where I am right now, the school is back there. Behind me over there is the Cultural Center. And then over on that side, if you can see that crane, that's the airport. So that's kind of the area that we're in right now. I'm pulling back around to re-enter the village, and then I'll take you down some roads so you can see some of the streets. before we head over to the resort, which is attached. It's on the backside of Punta Cana Village through a different guard gate. But let me show you. Let's go back to me in the other room doing voiceover. All right, so we're going to re-enter the village here through this security gate. And again, look overhead. This is on Hasminas. And we're going to just head straight down through on this road. So you can see this is like 2 lanes in each direction. And at the end of this road will be the exit to the backside of the village, the east backside of the village. But before we get there, I want to take you to the left over here down this road, which is called Olivo, just to give you a sense of what some of the houses look like here. So we'll travel down this road a little bit, turn around, and we'll come back up this road. And then this road, along with all the other roads that you see in this overhead shot. See, there's Olivo, there's Drago, there's all these roads. They all look the same. So I'm not leaving anything out that you can't see. These look very, very similar. They're roads populated with houses. There's not like a road where there's no houses on it or anything. It's a very mature community. But this road will eventually end at that PC club where you'll take a left and go back out to the village entrance on the east side, or Amapola. Hope this is making sense. All right, so here we are at the east exit for Amapola, and this is the Amapola crossover to the other side, which is the West Village. So as I go through into the West Village, I'm going to come to this intersection with, I think it's Alcicia, something like that. And we're going to take a left first so you can see some of the different looking housing on this side. As you could tell, it's much larger housing. Notice that the power lines are all buried, so you don't see any power lines that are above the ground like you do on the east. The lots and houses are bigger. They're a bit more modern. This is much, much newer. And honestly, the closer you are, like around the corner and over here, the closer you are to the entrance, the more developed it is. And as we go further through, you'll see that it's still growing on that side of it. So the West Village has all the open space right now. All the lots are sold, but like if you wanted to buy a lot and build, more West Village than East. East is very mature. Now, as I come around on Olmo, I think it is, back out to the main road, Amapola, I'm going to take a right, like I'm going to exit, but then take this first left and go down here just to show you some of the condos and the kids park and everything else that's down here. So here we go, down the road, turn the corner, and there you are. You see all these different condos. These are your $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 2 and 3 bedroom condos that you'll find in the village. And right across the street from them is this park. A couple of notes here. In both the East and West Village, condos are laid out at the fringes. At the very front of Punta Cana Village, like here in the West, you'll have all of these condos. And then as you go toward the back, it's all houses. The same thing pretty much on the East side. Although there is a set of condos toward the very, very, very back. Mostly it's housing, except for at the very front near the Galleria. The other thing is what the West offers in sort of clean lines, larger housing, and more of a modern feel. The East makes up for by being like very walkable, bikeable to the school. You have all of the town parks here. The Galleria and the cultural center are all right there as well on the East side. There may be a Galleria on the West side at some point, but we'll see. Now, what the West side does offer is more proximity to some of the shopping. So as we go out down Amapola, and you can see as I look down this road over here and then this road across the street, you can see it's still very sparse. It's not developed yet. They're still building as we get further and further out of the West Village. But as we exit, you see the road straight out ahead. I don't know if you can see that road where cars are going back and forth. That's Ted Keel Avenue or Ted Keel Way. You go left, you'll hit Cap Cana. You go right, you'll head toward downtown essentially. But we're going to take this right first, which is going to take you down this road. And over here, you'll see on the left is BlueMall. So BlueMall is, restaurants, shopping, all the things you could want. On the right over here, I feel like it's a little hard to see, but that's Nacional, the supermarket, a full-on multi-row, big, supermarket, just like you would find in the States. Over here on the left, this little spot with the kind of roof, that's Starbucks. So you can see kind of this is that little area. So before I continue on and we go any further, I just want to make this point and show you, this is essentially what it is to be in the village. You'll see golf carts everywhere. And what a lot of people do is they take a golf cart and that's how they get around the community, drop their kids off at soccer, this, that, and the other. And you can also use that golf cart to cross over to the West Village and cross into and go to Nacional, go to the mall, do all of that. You cannot use that golf cart on the main road, like going through the village, that Noviembre, that main road where all the buildings are. And you cannot use that golf cart to leave the village and go into Punta Cana Resort, which we're about to do. But within the village, crossing into the east or west and going to the grocery store, you can do it all on a golf cart. And just pausing again here, if you can't tell, let's just kind of go through this. If you wanted to be walkable or a short golf cart ride from restaurants, shops, your shipping courier like a BM Cargo, there's also a Domex, an EPS, all different courier services in the village. If you needed a grocery store, if you needed a 24-hour pharmacy, there's 2 of them, 2 Pharmacanas right here. There's also a Carol Pharmacy in BlueMall. There's a full mall, restaurants, shops, clothing, whatever you need, gifts for people. You've got the grocery store with Nacional, even Starbucks. There's a Santo Domingo Cafe inside the mall for another coffee spot. Fast food, there's Wendy's, all your kids' stuff, school, playgrounds, you name it.
It's all in the village. You could literally do it without ever leaving the village. The village being Nacional in the mall, all the way through everything I just showed you. Everything you've seen so far, that's the village. Upside, if you just like kind of being in one spot, cool. Downside, it's a bubble. And you kind of want to break out of it every so often and at least go to like Cortacito, if not Santo Domingo or Jarabacoa or somewhere else in the country. But you can see day-to-day living. I mean, look, this whole video, and we haven't even gotten to the resort yet, took me an hour to film without ever getting out of the car. Just to go through portions of the village and the resort took me 1 whole hour to get all the way around it. So you can imagine in a day, if you got to stop places, pick things up, days can go by where it's just sort of routine and you realize, wow, I've never really even left the village. My God, if your kids go to school here, if you do all your shopping here, I mean, hell, even referencia, you got to get blood work done. Or there's a lab inside of Punta Cana doctor's appointments. I just went today and got a shave. I just felt like having the barber do it instead of me. I walked to the barber shop and walked in. That's the village. That's the essence. When I compare it to Cap Cana, I always say like, this is the difference. Now, some people may say like, yeah, but I like Las Canas and Cap Cana. If, you know, I can get, whatever, I can just drive to all that. Cool. But you're paying similar prices there to what you'll pay in the village. These houses you see on the east side, 800, 900, 1 million, somewhere in that range. The houses you see on the west side, 900 to 1.3 maybe is probably the range on those houses. Pay a little less in Las Canas, but you're still paying a lot of money to be in a similar type community without the same bustle, without the same kind of kids running everywhere, without the same conveniences. Can't go to a doctor, can't go to a grocery store. Don't believe there's a pharmacy there. There's a small little market, Las Canas Market, which you get bananas and some bread there if you need it. You don't have shopping. You got to go into Green Village, all the way inside of Cap Cana to go to BM Cargo. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is what I talk about with Village and Punta Cana in general versus Cap Cana, but anyway, let's continue the tour. In fact, let's get away from me altogether and let's just send you outside to Jamie in the car. All right, so now we're entering Punta Cana Resort. As you can see from the overhead map, it's like situated behind the village with this entrance that we're going into right now. If you live in the village, your village card gets you access to Punta Cana Resorts. So that's where we're going into. It's not a resort, not like an all-inclusive. They call it Punta Cana Resort, but it is Cap Cana. It's the same idea. You go in, there's multiple neighborhoods, multiple developments. There's beach clubs, there's hotels, there's restaurants, same thing. The only difference is, I think what you'll see is it's much more complete. It's much more well-designed in terms of like, you know, it's done. It's not like it's, this is going to be something someday. It's mostly done. I mean, there's still growth and development. There's still lots that people can build on. But as we go into different neighborhoods, you'll see with a village card, all you have to do here is show the badge, which I'll do here in a second. And they scan you right through. All right, so we're through, and here we're going to go a few different places. All right, so when you hit the traffic circle here, you go around. That way is the service entrance. That way, I'll take you all in a moment. That takes you deep into the resort, into Punta Cana Resort, but I'm gonna go around to this side so you can see 2 amenities that you have access to by living in the village or the resort. After this second traffic circle here, I'm gonna go straight, and then I'm gonna come back out and go that way. So straight is Playa Blanca. That way to the right is the Westin Hotel, which we go to. You can just go to. You get in, you go in, you walk through the lobby to the other side, you hang out at the pool, you hang out at the beach, whatever you wanna do. No one asks you anything. No one asks you for a wristband. There's no need for it. It's expected and part of living in Punta Cana Village and Resort that you have access to the Westin. Now you're gonna pay when you go to these places for your food or whatever. At the beach, Playa Blanca over here, if you have a village owner's card, you get a discount. I think it's 10% on food. I don't believe you get that at the Westin. I think you only get that here. So food for thought. But this right here is Playa Blanca. And I'm gonna give you some footage here in a second to show you that without getting out of the car, just so I can make sure this tour doesn't get too crazy. But right ahead of us where these people are walking, that area on the other side of that wall, that's Playa Blanca. This right here that we're going by is the new Marine Innovation Center that's being built, and it should open in the next few months as I record this. But let's roll up through here real quick, and I'll show you Playa Blanca so you can see it from the car point of view. There's the restaurant. Playa Blanca restaurant is over there. Let me roll my window down. And over here, I should be able to show you it. Out there is Playa Blanca. Nice perk of living in here, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. As we pull around and exit, and we're gonna go back out. All right, let's time a lapse back to the traffic circle, and then I'll show you the Westin. So here we go.
All right, so you come back around the circle. On this side over here, you can see the Westin. So same thing, you show your badge. There is a security gate, but show your badge and you're through. And I'll show you the Westin real quick. All right, so here we're coming up on the entrance, the reception area of the Westin. I'm gonna pull under where like people get dropped off and stuff like that and see if I can give you a quick shot. I should be able to. I don't wanna make people feel weird, but let me see if I can give you a quick shot. This way, let's see, through to the beach, over there. And then right over here are two restaurants, Bao and La Brasa, a steakhouse and an Asian place. They're okay. They're expensive, probably more, I think, than what they're worth, but the food is good. I just wish it was priced a little bit less touristy, but it is good food. So, all right, let's continue with our tour. Back in the traffic circle, that's the exit. Again, in front of me here, this is going to be the exit for the service exit. And then I'm going to come around here so that I could come through the resort a bit and give you a sense. This, to me, everyone, is where Cap Cana is what's assumed, but Punta Cana Resort is what's executed. One of the things that was said in one of the inner circle calls that we did was, oh, I saw Bill Clinton for Christmas time was in Cap Cana. And I said, there's no way Bill Clinton was in Cap Cana. And without getting into the specifics, but just the alignment of that political family doesn't go with the family in Cap Cana. Think what you want about Bill Clinton, it doesn't really matter. I'm just saying that what you saw, and the person admitted like, oh, I just assumed that was Cap Cana what I saw. What you saw was this, Punta Cana Resort. And you saw this community, this area. And you could see, as we pull up here, there's Hacienda on the right, there's Arrecife over on the left. So you can go right or left into different communities of housing and where people live or have vacation homes, but many, many, many people live in here. A lot of retired folks. I'm gonna go to a community called Tortuga. Let's see if we can go in there. Sometimes the security guy at Tortuga specifically, I don't know, they get a little weird, but overall, I usually just go in without a problem. And then I'll take you down all the way to the bottom of Punta Cana Resort so you can see where Ojos Indigenas is, where the marina is. There's a marina inside of Punta Cana. It's not the same marina as the Cap Cana Marina, but I think you can see the Cap Cana Marina from the Punta Cana Marina. So it's like next to it. Crazy, right? But they're two very different worlds. Very different worlds. So this right now has a Cap Cana feel. It's the main road going through the entirety of Punta Cana Resort. That's what this is. Oh, this is the Cana Club, which we could go inside. That's the golf. Over here on this side, that's golf. If you play golf, you go in there to play golf, and there's a place called Cana Club, or Casa Club, they call it, where you can, I go and work in there. They have great Wi-Fi, like the clubhouse for golf. And they have restaurants and an area upstairs where I just go and sit and use the Wi-Fi. It's awesome. It's beautiful. The beach there is beautiful. It's an extension of Playa Blanca. If you're standing at the Westin and you turn right on that beach and walk probably 15, 20 minutes, you would hit that club back there. But let's keep going. Let's keep going down, and I'll turn into one of these communities. So you just get a sample of one of them. Now, they all look like this once you see it. This isn't like I'm picking the one. They all look like this to some degree. So let me show you what this one looks like here. We go to pull in. This is Lagos. This is a newer one. Very, very nice in there, Lagos. And over here, we've got Tortuga. So let's see if he gives me a heart. All right, so here we are. I'm inside. Over here on the left, if you can see it, is a golf course. I think that's Tortuga Golf Course. I think that's what it's called. Right there. It goes right through the middle of this community. Over here, there's a tee box or tee, whatever you call it, where you tee off. And now we're getting into some of the houses and residences inside of Tortuga. I'm going to get lost in this, but let's go straight. Let's go straight and see what we see. So here you go. Here's some houses so you can see them inside of the resort. You notice here, like the West Village, buried power lines, very clean. These houses, you're talking, I mean, at this point, 2-3 million plus. I don't think they get much more than, say, 3 million, but maybe, that's not true, actually. There's a couple in here that I know that are 5 million. I don't think they get much more than maybe 5 million, 5-6 million max, but you can see some of these houses. Beautiful, beautiful homes. There's another house right here. Go over to this side so you can see some more homes inside of Tortuga. This is what Arrecife looks like. This is what Hacienda looks like. This is what all of these communities inside of Punta Cana Resort look like. They all look like this. They all are pretty well finished, well done, beautiful, beautiful homes. Most are owner occupied. A lot of retirees. I've met a lot of retirees in here, or people that have sold their businesses or exited massive real estate portfolios and just, I'm going to live in paradise for the rest of my life. You see all these houses here. It's a beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. This is all Tortuga inside of Punta Cana Resort. And again, you saw all those communities we were driving through. This is what they all look like. So I'm not going to take you through every street. I think you get the point. These are the houses. This is the community. There is beach access in here for some houses as well. And we ride out. All right, I'm going to take you back out to the security gate. Then we're going to go left and continue down that road further into Punta Cana Resort so I could show you the kind of the end of it, which is where there's some really cool eco stuff. So let's time elapse right here and we'll roll. All right, so we're going further into the resort, and up here you're going to see on the right-hand side the foundation, the Punta Cana Foundation. This is where we're getting into the stables. That's the Equestrian Center right there. So you can see that. That's the Equestrian Center. Over here, they do in the once a month typically they'll do a not a potluck. What do you call it? A farmer's market. Really cool. They do Easter egg hunts, a whole bunch of stuff right in here. This is all like where there's animals over there. You can see those stable areas over there, animals. It's a really fun time. And then as we continue to head further south, we'll get into some more of the resort benefits that you have. And on the way out, I want to show you one other thing before we leave the resort and wrap this whole thing up. But let's go up here, and I'm going to show you on the left right here. Oh, no, that's not it. Never mind. Oh, here we go. On the right, this is the Punta Cana Foundation. Down there is where right now they have the Marine Center that they're building over at Playa Blanca, or they built over Playa Blanca. In there, you can do the eco journey. You can get honey from bees. You can see the hawks that they're saving and all of that. And then up here, I think is the Ojos Indígenas. Let me see here real quick. It's been a bit since I've been down here. I have a couple friends that live down here, but it's so far in. It's like, yeah, here we go. The reserve is right here. Ojos Indígenas, right there, as you can see. That's most of it. Now down here, if we come to the end, you'll hit the Marina. There's a restaurant down here called Yola, Y-O-L-A. Many of you may have seen that if you've researched like places to eat. That's down here in the Marina. So all the way at the end of Punta Cana Resort is where you'll find Yola. And I think there's another restaurant down here. I could be wrong. And there's other restaurants in the resort we've already seen. But yeah, let me just show you up here. So this is the Marina. Let me go around this way so you can see it better. The Marina is right there. It's inside there. That's another residence area. People live in there. Again, a good friend of mine lives in there. But that's that. But all right, let's zip ahead, and I want to show you this next thing. So let's go. Okay, so we're coming back. That's the exit. We're going to take a left here into Hacienda. So I could show you guys the Oscar de la Renta Tennis Center, which is here. That is the Oscar de la Renta Center. You can see some of the netting over there. Again, I'm not going to get out. You can see, I'm sure through here, you can see some people playing tennis right over there. Let me see if I can get that for you. And there you go. But I mean, look, Mercedes, I guess this is a blessed life in Punta Cana Village, Punta Cana Resort. The resort is next level. However, the village is the kid spot. So that's that. All right, let's roll. Okay, we're coming up to the traffic circle that if you went to the right here, we would go back to Playa Blanca and the Westin. If I went, so that right there is Playa Blanca Westin. If I went straight, it would be the exit
to where we came in, but I'm going to go around to the service entrance or service exit. Because if you live in the village, that's where you decide to go. Then this is actually a nice, quicker way to get to the back side of the village. So I'll show you that real quick as we head out, and then we'll go from there. All right, so as we go through that security gate, you just come up here, behind these couple trucks, and a quick right-hand turn, as you can see the sign right there, takes you into Punta Cana Village. Get your bearings. If you stay straight that way, it would take you to Ted Keel. Right would be the mall. Left would be Cap Cana. But we're taking this right, which is going to take us up here to, if you guys remember, that second entrance to the East and West Village, the service entrance for the East and West Village. So up here, you'll see we'll come to a traffic circle, and we'll be at the very back of that main road through the village. If I stayed straight on this road all the way through, I'd end at the airport. The airport is straight that way. Here's the village on the right. You can see the walls. And up ahead here, as we approach this traffic circle, before I kick it back inside, I'll show you just where we are. So here we come, traffic circle. And like I said before, this is the back or service entrance on the east. And over there on the other side would be the back or service entrance as it's being built on the west. And here we are back in the village. And I'm going to run over to my house. And you know who's sitting in my house right now is this really sexy bald dude. He's going to bring this all home for you. So let's go talk to him real quick.
I am sexy. It's just a byproduct of being me. By the way, if you see boxes over here, my wife would want me to tell you, like, this is all stuff we're donating, so we just have to get it out of here. But look at what she designed back here, guys. Like, that was like, let me show you the before on this. I'm going to pick up a before picture, and then that's the after. Like, this woman, I mean, she's as beautiful as she is smart. She's as talented as she is gorgeous. And look at that. Beautiful. This is my dream home, I have to tell you. Like, at some point in the inner circle, remind me to talk to you about the movie The Family Man and how that movie is sort of like what I see for my life on both sides of the roles he played in that movie. But anyway, a few considerations for me on both of these. Number one, investability-wise, I just see anything Grupo Punta Cana does as the most secure investment. It may not have the most like sexy upside, but still some sexy upside. But you're talking about stable and influential family. Some feel they're controversial with who they interact with and all of that stuff, and that's all well and good. I'm strictly talking about their influence and their ability to return on investment. You saw the resort, you saw Tortuga, you saw what it looks like when a developer goes, let me plan this, let me build from here out the things that we kind of wish would happen in Cap Cana. But it's one developer essentially saying, hey, we're selling these lots, develop those lots, then we'll move to the next one. Whereas in Cap Cana, it's like sell it all, different developers, and then figure it out. But the biggest draw here, in my opinion, is what they've built. It's like very considerate of if I'm going to live and exist and have family, or even not, even if like people ask, like, what if I'm single? Is the village good? Like, yeah, and we know plenty of single people that live here in the village. What if I'm a retired couple? Like, yeah, get a condo, maybe not a house. I mean, that might be a better, this thing is huge. There's too much maintenance in here. But again, you're walkable to restaurants. You've got nightlife in terms of not like party nightlife, but like going out to eat, and restaurants are open at 11, 12 o'clock at night on the weekend. You can go to your doctor's appointments. You can go get your blood drawn. You can get a haircut. You can go participate in yoga at the gym or whatever you want to do. I just believe it's premier. The last thing I'll say is this. I don't hate Cap Cana, not at all. I think Cap Cana is amazing. Bobby Marone. Bobby, you out there? I love it in Cap Cana. We just went there the other night. It's a great spot for us to go for a date night. Now, when I walked into Cap Cana at 6:30 p.m. on a Thursday, this is what it looked like in the fishing lodge. I mean, you know, it's not a bustling place yet. I think it will be, and I think investment there is smart. But for living, for existing day to day, some people do it. Many people do it. I can't. I just can't even imagine doing it. Look, we went there for 2 months. And when we first moved here, we went into Green Village. Like you, we had never heard of Punta Cana Village, never heard of Punta Cana Resorts. All we heard online was about Cap Cana. My wife's Dominican, but never lived here as an adult. So we were doing our research from afar. We didn't come down. We didn't scout it. We did none of that. We went with family and Higue's recommendations, and everybody knows of Cap Cana. They market it well, the luxury. So we went there. 2 months. And in those 2 months, all we saw was there were no people. It was very transient. Everything was hard to get to, especially when you have kids. Like, I forgot to get
whatever, bananas. I gotta get out of Cap Cana all the way out into Las Canas, get the bananas or whatever, then come all the way back in. To get a cleaning lady in and out was a pain. Go to the beach, it was a 15-minute ordeal to go from our place in Green Village all the way out, then onto the main road, then into Juanillo, all the way down. It was crazy. Cap Cana's got a lot of things going for it, but if we're gonna compare community living, it just doesn't. And I hope for many of you, you see that while Cap Cana is an amazing option, this is why this area, many of you didn't know at all about Punta Cana Resorts, and you just saw a spot that rivals maybe for some of you, I say tops, just because of where it is, airport access, everything else, tops. Casa de Campo, the legendary place that is and always will be. This place is better than that for a lot of reasons. PGA golf happens in there, the whole nine, and many didn't hear about it. Many didn't know about it. They had no idea it existed. So what else don't we know? What else aren't we seeing? This is why Punta Cana specifically has such an upward trajectory. But you can go into Santiago and see this, Santo Domingo and see this, the North Shore and see this. Craziness. Anyway, I hope this exclusive tour was helpful for all of you. I appreciate y'all being either YouTube members or part of the Inner Circle. And again, JamieGruber.com if you want to upgrade it from a YouTube member where you just get these videos to a full-on Inner Circle member for, I think it's like $3 or $4 more per month. And you're going to get the full-on WhatsApp community, the interactions, the weekly Q&A, so much value for a few extra bucks. Just make sure you cancel your YouTube thing. I can't do that. You have to do that. And that's what I got, folks. Have a blessed day. I'll see you all soon. Adios.